Hello, plumbing bros from around the world. It's Potty Talk Live. Welcome to Potty Talk Live, where we take it into the trenches, the crawl spaces, the kitchens and baths and utility rooms around the world to talk to guys on the front line just like you, to hear what they have to say and to give us some, as we kind of mine for some nuggets of gold. All right. Hey, I'm your host, Richard Behney, the $1 Million Plumber, and I just have a passion for plumbing. And I have a passion for helping my fellow plumbing bros around the world achieve their personal plumbing success. And that's what this show is all about, Potty Talk Live, as we talk to guys around the world. And today we have a special guest out of Montana, and we'll get to him shortly here. But before we get started, I want to give you a little gift here. Would you like a little gift? All right. Well, I have a little something here. I want to give you my free special report, all right? It's the 7 must-knows to be $1 million plumber. Now, in this report, this is all the stuff that those big plumbing companies don't want you to know. It's all the secrets on how you can get your own customers and how you can make the money that you desire and how you can grow and succeed with your own plumbing company. And it's free to you. No strings attached, all right? There's no catch or anything like that. It's free to you. You can just go to facebook.com, my personal little fan page, I guess you call it, facebook.com, The $1 Million Plumber, and click the link below, and there you can grab your own, go from there and grab your own free report. All right, so check it out. All right. Hey, we got a real cool cat from, literally cool, from Montana, all right, and it's Blansett Plumbing, all right, from Fort Benton, Montana. Craig, let's see if we can get Craig from the green room here. Craig. All right. Hey, Craig, how you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing?
All right, man. Hey, it's great to have you on the show. You doing all right today?
Doing good. Just trying to get my day planned out.
All right. Hey, well, thanks for taking the time for being on Potty Talk Live. I know we were talking before the show here got started that we're both experiencing a little bit of snow, but I was trying not to whine too much being here in Indiana because I don't think we get anywhere near the snow that you get in Montana.
Yeah, well, typically right where we're at in Montana, we don't get it too bad, but this year's been a good one.
All right.
We probably got a foot of snow on the flat right now.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you on the show, and again, this is all about you. And it was fun as we were talking before the show. You've been in plumbing for like 30 years. So how did you get in plumbing? How'd you start?
Well, I'm from Central Valley, California, and I moved away from there to go live with my dad in New Mexico, of all places, and kind of struggled there as a teen, young man. Got a hold of my uncle who lives in Sacramento, and he's a plumber. So was my grandpa and my great-grandpa, so it's under blood. And he says, hey, you should come up here and get an apprenticeship, because I never went to any college or anything like that. I thought about it for a little while, and I says, you know what, that's a good idea, I thought, and I'm glad I did it. I moved back to California with my family, took my girlfriend at the time and now still wife, and started apprenticeship probably 29 and a half years ago, I think it is, in Sacramento, California.
And the rest is history. So it's been a good living. It sounds so familiar. We all kind of just seem to fall into it. I guess we were little guys. I don't know about you, but I didn't grow up dreaming of becoming a plumber. It really wasn't even on my top 100 list.
Right.
Rock star.
Right. My grandpa on my mom's side was a plumber for the city of Sacramento. Actually, he started his apprenticeship with my great-grandpa, and I always remember knowing he's a plumber and watching him come home. It's like, oh, whatever, so it wasn't really on the radar until I came home and got into that apprenticeship and kind of naturally fell into it, I guess.
Yeah. So what's your favorite type of plumbing? What's your expertise?
My favorite type of plumbing, my expertise is probably new construction, since that's probably 90% of what I've done through my career. I've been a lead man for most of the companies I've worked for. I've actually worked for maybe 4 different companies. And so really, I just now started getting into service because here in Montana, there's 1 million people in the whole entire state. So there's not like, a boom. Oh. If there's a boom, it's not like something that some guys would think, like in their own city,
Yeah.
But as far as moving to Montana, I've gotten really proficient at service and stuff like that.
So if it's only like 1 million people in Montana, I mean, you have a pretty big service area. You have that you cover.
My service area, well, the town I live in is between 12 and 1,500 people, and the county is 7,000. I am the only licensed master plumber in the whole county.
Hey, there we go.
So when, so my service area is, just by state of my county, is only 7,000 people, but technically, legally, they're all mine.
There we go. There we go. Well, I saw that your truck, you kind of have a little different setup there. I mean, you really have what looks to be a 4x4 truck.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's what it used to be a personal truck, for playing and stuff like that. When I decided to go out on my own a couple of years ago, it became a work truck and not a pretty truck. So, yeah, it's my typical setup that I've worked throughout the years. Basically, a pickup truck with a rack. My favorite setup would be like a utility bed.
Okay.
I've never been a fan or made much use out of vans, only because I've never really been service oriented. So,
well, and also it looks like I imagine there's a terrain pretty rugged there. I mean, it's not like you're, I'm kind of used to the suburb neighborhood kind of things. It looks like you may need a 4x4 to get in and out of some places.
Right. I need a 4x4 today when I pull out of my driveway.
Okay.
So yeah, it's we can go times when you don't see any for a while until you get up on the highways where it's it's worn through. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, you've been around around for some years, and here we got a comment on. I don't know if you see this comment, but vans suck. All right. You can believe vans suck. Guess everyone has to, whatever. But you've been around for some years. You've been around the block a few times, and so in those almost 30 years, I mean, share a story. Something you come across, anything scary, in Montana, or something weird or funny.
I've seen a lot of stuff, and when I read the questionnaire that you sent. I really couldn't come up with anything. It's just like a one big blur sometimes. I think my favorite or my biggest story is the simple fact of how I end up where I am. I mean, to make a long story short, I started plumbing in Sacramento, California.
Mm-hmm.
Got my journeyman license there. My wife and I, one night we were, basically getting ready to go to bed, and we're just basically laying there thinking, sometime it's time to start raising a family, and I don't think I want to raise a family right here in Sacramento. I grew up in Sacramento, and nothing bad about Sacramento. It's just a big city, and it's just one of those young decision processes that we're thinking of. And we're about ready to fall asleep, and we heard gunshots outside. And when you hear gunshots in the city, it's not good. So I told my wife we're going to start thinking about doing something different. And the very next day I went to work, and there was some scuttle about somebody wanting to or that the company wanted to start a satellite business in a place called St. George, Utah. And I was like, oh, that's weird, So basically, I just actually volunteered to go help start that. So in a nutshell, I ended up in St. George, Utah, about 5 years into my career. And we were there for better part of 15, 16 years. And things got slow in about 2007, and I came up here in Montana to do some work on a Air Force base for a couple months until things picked up. But that was 9 years ago. So,
okay. And now you're there.
Yeah, yep. So basically, I've either held or hold a journeyman license in California, Utah, and now Montana. So.
Oh man. So, well, what has you, what has you fired up? About being a plumber in our plumbing industry. You've been in it for some years, and how does the future look for you?
You always want to be optimistic. It's starting a company. There's so many surprises, so many new things to learn. For instance, I just got back yesterday afternoon from meeting with the tax lady.
Yeah.
So, it's just, I guess the most exciting part about it, and maybe one of my regrets, is I didn't do it earlier, because one of the opportunities that comes with doing your own thing is not so much like, oh, I'm going to have all this free time, I'm going to make a bunch of money, which, can't argue with that, but it's being able to dictate your time.
Right.
I raised 3 kids. 2 of my kids are just recently moved out on their own. I have a teenage daughter at home, and if she needs $120 a pair of track shoes, bing, bing, boom, I can do it. If she needs me to be there for a track meet, I can be there. I don't have to ask the boss. And most bosses are good stuff, good about that stuff. But
right.
It's kind of like, it's not so much the riches as it is a livelihood. It's just the way to live. So.
Yeah, definitely, brother. And I can so relate to that. I raised 3 kids too, and plumbing made it. Having my own plumbing business. Every day wasn't a holiday, and yes, you gotta pay Uncle Sam. You can't skip out on that.
Right.
Or Uncle Sam comes looking for you.
Right.
There's a secret right there. Pay Uncle Sam. And that goes along with, crap rolls downhill. Pay Uncle Sam and crap rolls downhill. But it was very good for me and my family, and I can so relate to that. I called it the hat in hand kind of thing. I didn't have to go to a boss, with my hat in hand.
Right.
And so I was wealthy with my time, and I could go to the kids stuff, and I so relate to that. And it also, I made a lot of money, instead of working hard for someone else, doing all the work, and they got all the money, I did all the work and got all the money.
Right.
Minus what I had to pay Uncle Sam.
Right. So, yeah, that's the thing is I've always been the type of guy where whoever I worked for, I always gave 100%.
Yeah.
So that would be something that I would highly recommend for anybody else in the plumbing industry to do too. So it was always hard for me to ask for that time off or to leave work early because I was committed, and I always was always afraid that things wouldn't go right if I wasn't, stuff like that. But
man, brother, hey guys, I hope you're listening to that. Greg just laid down, gave us a nugget of gold there. If one of the keys to being successful for yourself is, do you have an attitude of being able to give 100%, for someone else that you're working for? And if you have that in your character, it will be so much easier when you go out and do your own thing. Oh man,
right.
That's so true, Craig. Yeah. Hey, just to switch things up a little bit, what's your favorite tool?
There's so many $5 tools and $3,000 tools and $5,000 tools. To be quite honest with you, I gave this a little bit of thought. Right now, my two favorite tools, got to have, and if I ever have 20 guys shop or whatever, my future brings, there's two things I'm going to tell them they have to have. And that's, one is a headlamp, a good one, and a Leatherman. Because everything else is pretty self-explanatory, and you can make up a tool list for new hires, which we've done, which I've done before for other companies. But those two things, I can't even tell you how much they've helped me, especially since when you get a little older, you got to have a little extra light.
Yeah.
And you're down that crawl space and up in that attic, and you got to unscrew something or cut something loose or whatever the case may be. That Leatherman is golden.
Oh man, that is so true. Isn't it so? It's amazing. It's fun to have all the power tools and all the stuff. That to have all that kind of stuff in your truck, or to have all those kinds of things. But to this day, even though I've sold my plumbing company, I moved on. But I kept two things, and for my thing, it was I had a pair of channel locks, and today I have the pair of channel locks I probably had. I bet it's over 20 years old. Pair of channel locks, the blues coming off, that kind of stuff, and it has all the piped open still on it, but it's just felt right. Today I kept that. And then I always carried a tape rule, and so I have that same tape rule, and it was all just part of my, it's just, it's amazing how just the little things,
right,
make a difference like that.
Right.
Oh man,
it seems trivial, but that headlamp and that Leatherman has saved my butt so many times, especially in service.
Oh man, that is so true. Hey, for you guys that are watching, listening, hey, put in the comments what your favorite tool is, and man, that's so cool. Hey, all right, you know what time it's for now? It's time for the lightning round. I don't know, we didn't talk. A little surprise here. I got a lightning round here on these cards right here. I have some questions here. They're either or questions. All right, so it's like either this or that. So if it's like either Coke or Pepsi, and you would say
Pepsi.
There we go. All right. That kind of thing. All right. So you ready?
Yeah,
ready?
still.
All right. Here we go. Adjustable wrench or channel locks?
Channel locks.
I just got to give mine away. Solder fitting or shark bite?
Solder fitting.
All right. Red Bull or coffee?
Coffee.
All right. Old school. There we go. Trench or trenchless?
Say again?
Trench or trenchless?
Oh, trench.
Yeah, I know. I love the trenchless technology and that kind of stuff, and it can be a very good value sell, for the customer, and there's good money and that kind of thing. But there's just something about sitting on the back of a backhoe.
Well, there's something about being down in that trench and putting your level right on that pipe too.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. There we go. Right. Okay. Here's an important one. Taco Bell or McDonald's?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, run for the border. For years, always got the same thing. Bean burrito minus onions, extra cheese, and a large Pepsi. That was all right. My truck was littered with that. All right. More information than what you need to know, but memories. Crawl space or slab?
Crawl space.
I like those crawl spaces. Tank or tankless?
Tank.
Residential or commercial?
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Residential at this point.
This one. I tell you, residential saved my butt back in 2008. Just having those homes to go to. Commercials are fun and got the big stuff. I mean, it can be more challenging.
Commercial is good when someone else is running the bank account.
Yeah, right. Waiting for that money. I never did like to wait for that. Wait for your money.
Right.
Residential, you get in, you get paid right then. At least you don't leave the house until they pay you. So all right, let's move on here. Copper or?
I lost you for a second.
Oh, there. You ready? Here, copper or CPVC?
Copper.
There we go, copper. I was talking with a guy. I keep saying this because I'm just amazed by it. The guy did some work in Brazil, and they have 8-inch CPVC water lines. It's like, are you kidding me? All right, here we go. Poly or PEX?
PEX.
PEX. Okay, here we listen up. Milwaukee or DeWalt?
Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'm a Milwaukee guy. I think it's kind of a bit of a 50-50 thing, but it's usually, was Milwaukee like the first tool, your first power tools that you used, or you like it for a certain reason?
First power tools would have been Makita.
Makita, okay.
Yeah.
General or Rigid?
Rigid.
Rigid guy too. All right, and finally, PVC or ABS?
PVC, ABS is illegal in Montana.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay, I get the $1 Million Plumber didn't know that. It's probably a good thing I'm not plumbing in Montana.
Lost you.
There we go. You there? Can you
Yep.
Now? Yeah. So it's illegal in Montana. Why is that?
You know, never really got a straight answer on that one. I couldn't really tell you on that. I've used both throughout my career. I've used ABS and PVC all through my career until I moved here.
Yeah, I prefer PVC, but you know, so let me see. Are you a guy that likes to line all the lettering up, or are you
Yes,
just get it in?
letters out.
All right, letters out. There we go. All right, very good. Hey, finally here, got maybe a little bit more of an important question here, but you can share with the guys. What's the best advice that you've ever received?
The best advice that I've ever received is pretty broad. I guess all the advice I've ever received is valuable to me. Mm-hmm. It's all how you process it. Mm-hmm. Anybody who says you should do this or you should do that, never write anything off. Take all the advice you can, for the good or for the bad, and use it to your advantage.
Well, there we go, man. That is some very good advice there. Listen, it sounds like if I would sum that up, it's just like keep your eyes and ears open, and see what works for you, and use what works for you. You know,
right?
That sounds like good advice coming from a guy who's been around the block. So, hey, you young guns out there, listen up to Craig. That's some good advice. All right, man. Well, about our time together here is about up here. We probably both need to get back to work, and all you guys need to get back to work as well. And Craig, I just really appreciate you being on the show today. It's been fun. And
thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, thank you, and you keep plumbing like a champion out there in Montana. All right, brother?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, gang, there we have it here. About time to wrap things up. Just want to remind everyone that I'm here to help you, and if there's anything you need, you can go to themilliondollarplumber.com. We got a couple different options there. Check out, download my 7 Must Knows to Be a $1 Million Plumber. There's good information there for you, and it can help you out. But in any case, just until we see you again tomorrow, I want to remind you to go pro, and plumb like a champion. You have a great day. Take care.